Alright, you beautiful Bayou Bandits, this is going to be my second episode of my Ultimate Solo Guide series. This is going to be the medium range loadout. We have the Winfield Centennial Trauma, so we are going to be able to deal with bosses with this, since it acts as the same as a regular world spawn hammer. And then we have Dum Dum, which does intense bleeding up until the damage fall off range for medium ammo, which is 30 meters up to the torso. So if you hit him in the torso up to 30 meters, it is going to deal heavy damage, and it does a whopping 123. So if somebody dies once and they lose a health chunk, they get back up, you shoot them with this. They have almost no time to stop the bleed before they are dead, and that is very solid for taking down a hunter who has already been downed once. Then our secondary is going to be the Scotfield Spitfire, which is going to be a nice secondary to complement our primary that doesn't shoot insanely fast. Keep in mind, the Centennial does have a good fire rate, but our secondary is going to be what we use in close quarters, of course. Since it is a slightly faster firing sidearm, it is going to be the Spitfire, like I said, with full metal jacket, since the penetration changes to the ammos and the guns have changed drastically. It is now going to retain a lot of its damage compared to before. It doesn't retain as much damage. And this just pairs well with the Dum Dum, so if I get somebody that is bleeding heavily and they go behind cover, then I can pull this out. Since my Centennial wasn't going to penetrate anyway, since it's Dum Dum, I can use the FMJ to try and eliminate them. Then as far as the tools and consumables, it's very similar to my close quarters guide, but we have a little bit of a difference. We're going to be using the flare pistol. Since this is a medium range loadout, I am going to have a flare pistol instead of fusees, so I can shoot from a distance to ignite down hunters or barrels or anything like that, instead of having to be very close and throwing distance. Then we have the decoy fuses, which are insanely underrated, and in my opinion, one of the best tools that you guys probably aren't using. And in general, most people don't know about it. It acts just like a regular dynamite, and where you ignite it, throw it, and it sounds like a dynamite's about to go off. And then at the end, it's just a small explosion. It doesn't really do much damage, and it can get rid of barbed wire. It can also break open windows or shutters on windows and things like that. But overall, it is a very solid and can be used as a last resort if somebody's pushing towards you and you need to back up or something like that, or if you just want to push in to secure a lair or something like that. You could throw it in and practically run on top of it because you know it's a fake, but the enemy might not. However, there is a noticeable sound difference. If you are very experienced in this game and have played with these a bunch, you can tell the difference, because there is an audible difference between dynamites and decoy fuses. It's a very hard difference to hear, but it's there nonetheless. Then of course we have the med kit, that's not negotiable. Then we're using the throwing spear as a good last resort, so if somebody's pushing me, I can throw it at them and potentially one tap them out of the game. However, you do have to hit them now in the chest or head to kill them. It's not just wherever you hit them on their body, arms and legs. And then when it comes to playing solo, we're bringing all three of the big shots. The vitality shot, so we can fully heal if we need to, of course. The stamina shot, so we have 10 minutes of stamina worry-free gameplay, which is always nice and good. And then we have the regeneration shot, which also lasts 10 minutes. This is what we're gonna pop right before our big fight. And then we're using a regeneration shot, which will passively heal you over time. And this is going to be great to pop right before an engagement or whenever you think a fight is about to ensue. Then lastly, we're rocking the wax dynamite stick, which is very, very good for PvP, and in tandem with the pack that I'm going to recommend you using for this loadout, it is going to work wonders. But the wax is going to also allow it to go into water instead of diffusing if it hits the water. And for only an extra $8 hunt, this is very, very worth it. You can take the regular dynamite, but this is kind of like water insurance. If you're playing around water and want to get that kill, 8 more hunt dollars, it's not gonna hurt you. Buy it. Then we have Necromancer, which is kind of a discussion if you should even take Necro as a solo anymore, just because everybody and their mother and brother, when you're playing solo trios, is going to start burning and corpse camping right when they kill you. It almost doesn't matter if they know you're solo. The only time that Necromancer is really going to be beneficial is when there's a multi-team fight and they can't tell if you're a part of the team or not, if there's multiple people on your team and they can't completely understand if you're by yourself or not. But you will still most likely get burned, but you'll probably, at least in that specific scenario, have a little bit better of a chance of standing up. But I would say 8 to 9 times out of 10 now, solos versus trio, it's very easy to tell when you're a solo and teams will catch on fast. So using Necro is probably a waste, I'm not going to lie, but I didn't want to cop out and get Quartermaster, and I wanted to try and stick true to a mid-range loadout. And playing at a little bit further of a distance, you can somewhat have a better chance of standing up, depending on if you died behind cover, you fell off a rock or something like that. So we're gonna take Necro for the small chance that we can stand up after we have been killed once. Then Magpie is essential for any solo. This is going to double the amount of dark sight that you can hold at one time, bringing your total from 5 to 10, also giving you 2.5 minutes of regeneration, antidote, and stamina when picking up the bounty. This is a very good trait for solos, and I recommend every solo taking it if they can. And then the last trait, Iron Eye, which allows us to just essentially remain in iron sights between shots when firing bolt action, lever action, or pump action weapons, which ours is a lever action, so this works perfectly. Then for health bars, we're going strictly with 3 big bars. This is essentially because once we die as a solo, you don't really need to worry about lost health bars. If you're using Necromancer and Revive, you will come back with all of your health bars regardless if you just died. So having a small chunk doesn't really make sense in the scheme of fighting AI, taking incoming hits from an enemy at a far distance. If they're gonna shoot at me with a Winfield or something and only do like 30 damage around here instead of the whole 50 chunk, I don't need to use a medkit, whereas if I had small chunks at the end, I would have had to use a medkit or find meds some way. So these 50 chunks just make it a lot easier when moving around the map and fighting teams at a long range distance that might not do as much damage as if they were in your face. But then I do have a very big question to ask you guys that I would appreciate you to leave in the comments. What can I get better at in these videos? Do you guys think that my commentary could be better, my editing, or maybe even my graphic design on my thumbnails? Let me know. I'm looking to improve to make the best type of hunt content that you guys can see here on YouTube, and I would greatly appreciate you guys to leave a like, comment the answer to that question, and subscribe for more of this type of content, as it greatly helps me out and pushes me in the algorithm so you guys see more of this type of content. As well, I stream live over on Twitch Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. EST to 6 p.m. EST, and I hope to see you guys over there. I genuinely appreciate the support. Now let's get into the gameplay. I got a lot of feedback saying that they like seeing my, you know, not having every game be a great one. And so that is going to be part of the program. But yeah, started off Mammoth's Gulch. One big thing I see a lot of people doing is take her out just because she's going to be a nuisance. Don't need to be getting in the way. One thing I see a lot of people doing is shooting their flare pistols at these armoreds, hives, or anything like that. I don't think that you should be doing that as a solo. In my opinion, use it as a last resort type of thing. So in that scenario, of course, you know, I didn't have to jump up and then throw my spear and then go back and get it, and like, kind of wasting time. But at the same time, in my opinion, as a solo, you want as many tools and consumables that you have to stay on you at all times. So when you loot, you potentially get money, or you can get like good consumables and shit like that. You don't want to be looting just to get, you know, a decoy fuse back or a flare pistol shot back, because that's what you're gonna get if you shoot this and then I kill a person in front of me and loot them. That's gonna be one of the first things I get. So it's kind of annoying, but since I'm out of stamina and I'm a little late to popping this, but that's when we're gonna pop our stamina. Don't pop your stamina right when the game starts. It's kind of a waste, not gonna lie. Also, another thing, since the event is going and we have the packs to be pledging to and stuff, we're gonna want to get up to 30 points because that is gonna grant us 1 pledge mark, right? So to get 30 points, we're gonna have to be killing hellhounds, potential meatheads. I'm not a big meathead person, to be honest. When I'm solo, especially, just because I don't want to show people my location or what direction I might be coming from. Like if I was to kill a meathead at East Mount Corn and somebody's at Machine Gorge right now, depending on how the gray out goes, because the gray out, remember from my last video, goes the exact same way as everybody. So as you see, it went down to this. That means if somebody else has 2 clues, doesn't matter where they picked it up, it's going to look like this as well. So everybody might be running to the same compounds, of course, because that's how the gray out works. It's the same for everybody. So if I set off a noise or something like that very close to here, and somebody's at Machine Gorge with the boss, they can predict that I might be coming here. So they're just going to sit north of this compound and wait for me to walk by and then get a free kill, probably. So in this scenario right now, we haven't pledged, and the pact we are going to use is the same as the last event and solo guide. The last solo guide, I told you to take Surefoot because you could run while throwing consumables like grenades, dynamites, and things like that, and heal while running, take fatalities and stuff like that, which is very important and very nice. However, let's go back over here. Right now, I can assume that it's going to be one of these 4 compounds, but we are going to try and get this one just because it's so close, and I want to find out where the boss lair is so I can think about my next move after that. But we're taking Surefoot and the Wilderness Pact because it is currently bugged right now. And once you crouch, it turns on the speed boost that is supposed to be given to you when you are crouched over. Because Surefoot allows you to walk faster while crouching. As you can see at the bottom right there. It allows you to move faster while crouching. So the speed boost that is given to you when you are crouching is bugged right now. And if you crouch once, it will give it to you while you're running. Now this is off. And this is... No, this is off. My apologies. So this is on. The speed boost. And it's freaking crazy. It won't go away. You won't lose this speed boost until you crouch again. So the next time you crouch, it'll turn it off and you'll go back to normal speed. Then you just crouch again and it'll go back. Which, don't worry about getting in trouble for using this. This is something that's kind of unavoidable at this moment. There's nothing you can do about it other than potentially not use the pact. But there's way too many people that are using it. They're not gonna ban everybody, so if you guys are worried about that, don't even worry about it. Now, what we're hearing right now is some shots a couple compounds away, or maybe around Kingfisher. Actually around this area. And I personally, no matter what loadout I have, like getting to the bounty lair first, so I can be the one in the bounty lair and have reign of it. But since this isn't a close range loadout, it doesn't really make a bunch of sense for me to go down and secure the boss and sit in the lair. So a good thing right now, and this is going to be very identical to the long distance guide that I will eventually come out with for the solo guide. It's going to be very similar to that in the sense that you're not going to want to be super close to everyone else. So we hear shots coming from back here. I don't want to get sandwiched by sitting right here and fighting the boss lair team. They know about me. They don't know that I'm a solo just yet. The boss lair team. So we're just gonna wait back a little bit. And I'm gonna sit probably around this and wait for some shots to start popping off. This is the best time as a solo, no matter what loadout you're using, close, medium range, or far, is to go in at a third party. I'm gonna take care of the mobs because I don't want them to rat me out when a team comes by and I need to shoot or just be a nuisance. So that's what we're doing. And I'm gonna sit around this rock and just listen for these other teams to run up. and potentially start fighting the boss teams. Or a boss team, I should say. And once they do, then that's when I'm going to try and go in. Which I'm hearing shots that are muffled, very, very muffled. And so I can presume that they are in the mines right now. Seems like they're fighting. Now, here's the thing, right? It can be bad if I wait for too long. Because there might be a very drawn out fight that goes on in these mines. Which it sounds like there's a fight right now. And the boss is halfway done banishing. If by the time the boss is done banishing, and there is an extract somewhat close, or nobody else contending the boss team, they will probably just scan, see nobody's around, and say, fuck it, let's move on. Which rightfully so, right? You only have so many scans, it's best to make a move off of it. So once they find out that nobody's around them, this is the kind, so once they find out that nobody's around them, this is kind of the downside to playing solo. I'm gonna be the one that has to go on this side of the compound and completely stop them. I'm not seeing any movement from the mines, but I'm also not hearing any shots. So I can presume that they're probably either at a stalemate or going to be coming out here very soon. But since I don't want the bounty to get out scot-free, I'm gonna start making my way on the extract side, which is over on the west side. And since I have the surefoot buff, I'm gonna be moving at a good pace. Not hearing anybody over here. Still have 2 minutes of my stamina. This is going to be my attempt to make sure that the boss lair team does not get out. Also, vice versa, if they come out of the mines and I am on the southwest side and they start chasing directly down, they're probably gonna meet around here and be behind the boss lair team, preventing me from getting sandwiched to where if I was coming behind them and boss lair was in front of me, I'm behind them, and then the team starts coming back here, and then I am in direct line of sight between the two teams. It's gonna be a direct freaking sandwich on my aspect. It's gonna be a direct sandwich on my end. So I'm gonna sit back here, potentially think about moving back up there if the other team comes up there and goes directly into the middle. But at this moment, I'm kind of just waiting to see if any other contenders are going to mess with this boss lair, which I don't believe they're fighting, and I don't believe anybody is close to them right now. Okay, so we just saw our first third-party enemy over there. There's another one. I think that dude just saw me, which is kind of crazy. What the hell? Why? I'm assuming that they saw me run over here, which is very unfortunate. But at least this still keeps the bounty team trying to get up there. I can't hit shit. At least it still keeps the bounty team from moving out. So now on this, I'm gonna try and move up slightly. Just cause I'm not at a sniper, or I don't have a sniper loadout, so I shouldn't be insanely far away. But still, I don't have a shotgun. So if these teams push me, it's not going to be great. Gonna try and get a little closer, just so I can third party in this fight. However, this team out here is gonna be a little weary about me. Yep. Has these dudes rotating. They're trying to set off some sound traps with their silenced pistols to make it seem like they're rotating and have me confused a little bit, but I already moved up, so I know what they're doing. I believe I'm hearing somebody more towards this. Then, of course, we have Boss Lair team who hasn't moved. Now, I'm going to try to move up and occupy the middle of this rock, which has a good oversee of this compound. When he's running, don't feel afraid to be walking. But otherwise, I probably don't have a reason to be walking, because the sound in this game is very good. Loud noises and other enemies running or shooting. Good time for me to run, potentially. I think he hears me. He's bleeding. Moving back into the open. They have to deal with that bleed. This is a big deal. I thought she was over here still, even though she wasn't moving too much. And I know that this isn't a solo, but to add pressure, obviously everybody does it, right? Gonna loot and burn. So wherever the other teammate is, which might be actually a lot closer than I think. And I kind of got around that fight without ever taking my regen. Now's a good time. I'm in the thick of it, could easily get dropped by her teammate. Now, as a solo, getting a kill, you kind of want to make sure that once you start burning that you get them out of the game. But I have a good feeling that her teammate is not close over here. Probably would have got shot by now. And they are burning, so that is a good indication to me that they have killed her teammate. Or one of her teammates. I only saw 2 on this team. But, like I said, they just started burning somebody. Obviously, that's not going to be on their team. So they either killed her teammate and burned, or her teammate killed all of them and is starting to burn one. Which wouldn't really make any sense because I'm pretty confident a whole trio was inside. This teammate in here that could potentially, in this scenario, be her teammate wouldn't really make any sense to be burning one of those dudes. So the more likely scenario is that this dude's teammate ran inside and got killed. Now this is decent medium range distance, but once they start pushing me, which they're inevitably going to do, I'm not honestly in the worst position, but it's not either the best position. I couldn't tell if I saw somebody right there. That dude has a Crowning King with flechette. Can apply pressure. He's bleeding. Like I said, this dum-dum applies good pressure. See now, this is the medium range we want. He's gonna be peeking down here then to cover his buddy that just got hit. We're gonna back up because he's got a real one. Probably should be retreating a little more. A lot more. I didn't even see the dude. I think that was because I threw my chaos and couldn't understand what was going on. That was really dumb on my part. So once you die as a solo, your best bet is to just listen. Now, most likely you're gonna get burned and corpse camped, and you're gonna be done. However, they might think that I'm a part of that team. Two dudes are running away, of course. But I'm fairly certain that usually the shenanigans is that they're gonna leave one dude behind. Run away, make it seem like it's an easy time to stand up, and then just shoot me. They're actually running back. See, that was a decent opportunity. I heard at least two dudes running away. I could have stood up. But there was probably still a good chance that somebody was on my body. I couldn't tell if I was hearing three or not. See, now that they came back to burn, that's because they're saying, okay, well, screw it. You don't have to wait on him. Let's just burn him and leave. However, the first time was a guaranteed two people running to make me think that everything was cool, and then one was sitting on me. Now, they could be waiting longer than me and more patient than I am, and sitting here and saying, all right, dude, you stay there, keep watching his body. I'm gonna run back, burn him, then he's gonna think he's good. He'll stand up and you can get the kill. That is my assumption, that I am going to die right now when I stand up. But there is the circumstance where they all just ran and they're like, screw it. We're not interested in corpse camping. Let's see. Very surprised. Very surprised. Now we're gonna instantly go into dark sight. I need to pick this up because of Magpie. Don't be afraid to go into a different loadout. I know this is kind of cheating, but they already gave me a different pistol. Take a scan. They're kind of far. So actually, we're gonna go back to this. We're gonna loot to get our seconds back. Be as full as we can when they come back for the fight. And they're actually far. However, they both have long-range things. So knowing that I don't want this dude to be a part of the game when he comes back, I'm gonna shoot all of his ammo. Just so if he does get up, he's not going to be a threat to me. I'm gonna shoot all of his ammo. And then I'm going to... keep making sure that you're scanning. They're not close. Let's see if they ran to extract. No, but they ran into a neighboring compound. Probably to catch me off guard. Or not catch me off guard, but to just wait for the next compound so I can push over there and we can fight. Just gonna burn him, completely take him out of the game until somebody wants to come sacrifice one of their health chunks with the bounty. And then I'm going to come back, since they want to stay over there. I'm gonna go make sure I scan real quick. Nobody's around. I'm getting low on ammo, so I need to come back and hit a close cart. That's what we're gonna do. But I honestly thought that they were gonna play the mind game of waiting, having one person on me, which I'm pretty sure they did. Then when they got tired of waiting, they said, okay, we'll come back here, we'll burn him, and then just fucking run this time, don't worry. He didn't get up that time, and that's a good bait. If all your teammates run away, that's usually a good bait. or my bad, not all of your teammates, 2 of your teammates run away, and then 1 person stays on the body, it's usually a good bait to make the solo jump up because he thinks, oh, everybody just ran. So once I passed that test, they probably were like, okay, well, he might not get back up. Let's just burn and run. Now, these dudes are definitely getting closer, going up more towards the mines, but like I said, they have a Sparks and a Label, which is not something I should probably be peeking. I do have a mid-range. That zombie is a really good, man, those are very bad shots that are very solid shots I could have hit. We're gonna make sure we're topped off on ammo. We got a new med kit. It's a very good thing as a solo. Bring the med kits to you behind cover. We're gonna scan. Scan, take a peek exactly where it was. I'm not sure if that's his hat. I think it actually is. No, that wasn't. Okay. So in this scenario, it wouldn't be completely bad for me to move further back and make them come to me, right? But I don't think that that's going to really happen. Let's scan again. Try the left side. This isn't going to be great. I can't even, yeah, I don't even know where that dude's at. So running back. Shit, this is like a really bad spot now. Trying to get to this rock is probably my next best bet. He just shot his Sparks, so I'm going to go for it. The Sparks has a long reload time. He missed his shot, or not missed his shot, but took a shot when he shouldn't have. So that was my opportunity to only have 1 person potentially shoot at me instead of 2. If the Sparks hit me, and then the Label hit me, I'm a dead man. So him shooting his shot and then me making the cover, or running to the other side of the cover, is the best bet in that scenario. Now, I'm going to consistently look at my map to see if they are potentially moving closer, because now this is a medium range scenario which I can participate in, but on both of the peaks on the right and the left side of the rock, before or after I scanned, I still could not see either of them. So they had good enough head peaks that they were able to look at me and I could not see them. So that's probably not a fight I should be taking. Now, if you're looking at this, they're going all the way to the middle. And I assume one of them's going to hit the restoration, which actually I can see. Actually, no, I don't think I can since he's burnt out. It'll make a noise and show a lightning bolt coming to his body if it works on him. I don't think it will make the noise if he's burnt out. But in this scenario, I can either push up, which is probably going to be a death sentence because they're going to at least have 1 dude out here aiming at me over the mountain, right? Or I could say, fudge it. Let's just go to extract and get our money. As a solo, if you want to make money, getting out when you can with the bounty is going to be your best bet. And I don't want to camp on this dude's body, but he's kind of like a valuable resource that I need to stay. I don't want to camp this dude's body, but he is a very... I don't want to camp this dude's body, but they could in turn get him up. And then he'll be another enemy against me that I don't want right now, of course. So I only have 1 scan, which isn't good, but I'll probably have to use it very soon. These dudes seem like they're closing the gap, which is playing into my game, which is exactly what I want. So let's confirm they're getting close, which they are, but they're getting closer. So I'm gonna scan, make sure they're both together. They kind of are, and then we're gonna have to fight it out in the middle of this rock. That's gonna be my medium range. They're trying to sandwich me. I'm gonna come back and try and 1v1 this guy. He's not budging. So I'm gonna have to run back. He's bleeding. His buddy's on the left.
I figured his buddy would have been covering left. Now they're both on the same side. This is gonna be interesting. I didn't have any cover between that and I didn't want to get sandwiched. Let's make a hard rotate and make sure we're in the fast mode of Surefoot. He's bleeding. This is my push. He's bleeding again. He's dead because of the heavy bleed. One more. Let's go, baby. These dudes are not happy with me right now since I took so long, but that's kind of how you have to do it as a solo. That's kind of how you have to do it as a solo. So that couldn't have ended any better. That's a perfect first game, but I think that'll teach you guys a lot of shit. Keep your distance, right? With these medium loadouts and the long loadouts, they're pretty much the same. Keep your distance. Don't be afraid to push back and retreat. If a whole team's pushing on you, try your best to make sure you can 1v1 the oncoming enemies, and you'll have a lot higher chances of success. Then after the game, we're going to add our upgrades and stuff. I'm going to get back the stamina regardless of what traits we grab. I don't care. The stamina shot, it's a super necessity essentially, to just make sure that you have 10 minutes where you do not have to worry at all about stamina. Then of course we're taking the regen again. We're just refilling the things that we use out of these three. Just always bring these three. We're going to, instead of using the wax dynamite stick, we're gonna stick with the frag bomb, since that is a very, very, very good PvP item, and we have Surefoot, like I said, so we can run while we're priming and throwing this. It's going to be a lot better. Now, this guide is not going to show you Quartermaster. You need to have something that is good at close range, as well as something that can deal with the medium distances. And the Spitfire is fine, but if I have the upgrade points available to me, I think it's very dumb not to use Quartermaster. Most teams you're going to fight against have some sort of Quartermaster, or at least have something that is A+ in close quarters. So if I get pushed, my Scotfield Spitfire is not going to be a crap ton to defend myself. It's going to be solid, yes. It's capable, but you want to move the Quartermaster and get like a pocket shotty or a pocket rifle and then a regular shotty. This one, we're going to stay true to the Centennial and the Spitfire. But since we have the Wilderness Pact, you're going to want to take Beast Face. This is going to be the same as it was last event in my last guide, where it allows you to run over sound traps, dog kennels, chicken coops, cows, horses, things like that, and they won't go off. If you step on like glass or hit another sound trap that is in the map, it will set them off. I did find that out, which was kind of interesting. But in general, it works very good and allows you to maneuver around the map very, very easily without setting off things, which is a big deal in my opinion as a solo. And then since Lightfoot and Conduit were both buffed, we're taking both of these off the bat. Conduit allows you to investigate one clue, and it gives you the map progress or gray out of 2 clues. So if I get my first clue, essentially I have 2 clues, and I can see very, very well and predict where the boss is going to be, because it is going to gray out 2 times, versus when everybody else gets it and the teams, they're only going to see 1 per clue. This allows me to get to the boss lair a lot faster. Isn't the best if you don't have a close quarters loadout, but it is solid nonetheless to get set up and let the teams come in. And then Lightfoot essentially lets me crouch walk as a solo without making any noise, which is just really freaking good. I don't think it's busted, but I do think it's very, very good. Then for the last 12 points, 4 of them are going to go to levering, so I can potentially do some real damage up close outside of my Spitfire if I need to. The spread on the Centennial and the Mako, which is a long ammo lever action rifle, have been significantly reduced, and they actually are pretty viable with levering. So we are going to grab levering, and then I'm probably going to get pitcher just so I can throw my consumables and decoy fuses even further and potentially get a very, very unexpected kill on a hunter who thinks he's out of range for my throwable. So we are going to do vigilant in case we are close and need to scan to see if there are traps at the compound or wherever I'm checking with this trait. So let's get into the second game. All right, last game wasn't the greatest. I didn't actually end up seeing anybody. Took the bounty out and figured I'd upgrade the hunter for a better chance to win another game. So the next thing I'm going to do is get doctor. This is a very, very good trait. And we're going to get rid of dauntless for now just because I usually end up forgetting it anyways. And we're going to get bloodless because I do rank bloodless a little higher than dauntless. So let's get into the next one and add the last couple traits that we're going to add to our hunter. Physician is going to be in there. We got to buy back necro because we used it. And then dauntless is going to be the last 1 point. We have 1 extra slot potentially for buying traits because we do have, I think, 3 pledge marks. We got to make sure to change our gun back to the Centennial trauma, put the bleed on it, and then get rid of these 2 things. These aren't what I'm coming back in with. Like I said, coming in with the big vitality, the big stamina, and the big regen, and then I'm going to throw another frag bomb. This is going to be my exact loadout going in until I lose this hunter. He's leveled up, you know, so 46, almost maxed out. There's no reason not to invest into him because he is getting his returns. Or if you need a teammate in general, try to look around at some discords. I know the official hunt discord has a lot of people. That's probably your best bet if you think it's too cringe or whatever to come to content creators or mine or something like that. But in general, if you guys are having a hard time playing a solo in 6-star lobbies or in any lobbies, finding a teammate is going to be your best bet. However, some of us, we don't like playing with teammates as much as we like playing solo. That's my boat, especially. Yeah. It's not easy to, I'd rather be by myself when I make these critical decisions in game instead of having teammates that could potentially mess up my decision making, or I could mess up theirs, and I just don't like that, so I play it by myself. But as you can see, we got the first clue since we have conduit. It's going to narrow it down all the way into the last potential gray out. I'm going to guess that it's at Preston. And just going to start moving that way. We got to remember these carts are pivotal points in the map that could have a lot of traction. Just like that you saw behind me. High velocity ammo, I'm not really interested. See if we can't quickly get Aura Gordos. I don't think we're gonna. I'm just gonna go Kingfishers. However, I think... Yep. Hellborn is at Kingfishers. And I really don't want to fight Hellborn, because then I'm going to have to put a bounty on my head, and I do not want to do that. Especially when I'm pulling up to the main bounty lair. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm not even going to kill Hellborn. I'm just going to get the clue to narrow down where the boss lair is. And try and then move into that. Also, if you guys made it this far, I appreciate you guys watching genuinely. Thank you for checking out any of my content. That's a nitro. I believe it's Preston, and the nitro's probably just a shot to get the boss done. No? Yeah, okay. Probably just shooting to get the boss down. So that means, right, when you're close to the clue, full send for the clue, or try to at least. Try and get the clue, because they're going to be killing the boss very soon. I want my 3 minutes of stamina, and bada bing, bada boom, it's at Preston. So let's move in and try and get a little bit of placement, or good placement. Good angles and stuff. In this compound. Yep, see, they killed it shortly after the nitro shot. There was no other shots. Tells me that they weren't fighting anybody, they were just shooting at the boss. Because the nitro packs a good punch, you know, so They're just trying to get the boss down as quick as they can. Personally, I think that's a bad thing. I don't like showing what guns I have, right? Especially if I'm playing in a team, and I can almost guarantee these people out here were playing in a team. So, I'm not sure, right? There was people that set off, I think they spawned at Machine Gorge and came down, or in this general area. They set off a sound trap of some sort. I don't remember exactly which one, a horse or something. Okay, so we have Centennial and a Carabiner that just went off. Another the same Carabiner. Might be worth me pushing up. However, like I said, I have that team coming behind me, and I really don't want them to third or fourth party me. I actually... Damn it. Let's rotate slightly and see if I can't get a headshot on this dude. He kept crouching down here. Very, very worried about the team coming behind me. Got that dude. And this penitent. Wouldn't be a bad... Wait till he's hit and going for loot. Take him down. Go for the next one. Let's go down here real quick. He's hit. He's hit once. That might be the same Billy I killed earlier. So that noise means that Hellborn's getting fought with. I believe that's the team that was coming behind me that I was worried about. This dude actually might be a solo. I don't normally use the flare pistol, so don't hate on me. Right? Or hate on me all you want, I guess. See? Oh, nice, okay. So you don't have to aim and compensate for flare drop that much. Damn it. I got a weird feeling that this might be a solo too. And if you're curious why I'm not taking my regen, I'm not sure if I just heard an ambient sound from this wood or if somebody was just behind me. And it is still burning. We've been in the same spot for a long time. Check the same spot that he was at. I kind of would like to rotate and get over there. I think that's what I'm gonna do real quick. The penitent should be burned out or pretty much close to it. Let's take the regen as I'm probably going to be fighting. Get that regen off. We're going down, we're going down. Should be good. So let's get behind cover right here. Get full HP. Let's try and get to the back of this and move in so we can participate in the fight, I guess, and not get sandwiched. Right? I have the other bounty team coming right behind me. I'm out of stam too. Might as well take it. No need to be out of stam in this type of fight. So the second dude just picked it, so that means one person's in the boss lair. Okay. I'm tripping. I'm actually going to get pretty much completely out of this. Oh wait, they backed up a little bit. I don't really know how I like this, to be honest. I think maybe coming back here. I'll pick up this lantern just in case. I don't know how I like this. Get the toolbox. Is bounty leaving or going north? No, they're not. Okay, so I really want to poke in. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I'm having a lot of thoughts right now. Okay, I need to not get sandwiched. Number one, concern right now. Don't get sandwiched. So instead of going back, I know I've been running everywhere like a chicken with my head cut off. We're going to go this way. Make sure the stam, or not the stam, but the speed boost is on. It is, right? So these dudes are coming right behind me. They're gonna eventually move up, and then I can take my attack at that point. But until then, we're gonna back up to the point where they can't scan and see me. If they're gonna come from this side, they shouldn't be able to scan and see me, which I think they're coming from that side, which is nice. And hopefully all three of those dudes are pretty close to each other. So it's not like last game where the one mainer dude was rotating off and the two dudes were in my face in the compound. Okay, ricochet, or not ricochet, but I don't know actually what that was. So let's move around a little bit, set this up so them two can push in, and then I can take a stab at the end, kind of like I did on that penitent, right? I didn't shoot that penitent until he or the Billy was shot, and a decent shot for me to take him out. I really didn't have a reason not to shoot the penitent other than giving away my position to the other Billy, but I'm really waiting for that other team to move in, and once they do, I'll move through here a little bit and potentially be able to clean up and win the game, hopefully. Now, I don't know if those are shots both directly at me. It doesn't sound like it. However, I need to wait for these dudes to get a little bit in there. I don't want that new team coming up suspecting me. I want them to think that it's just the team inside. And then when it's a cluster, kind of like now, one just died, that's my cue. Actually, this Nagant's a little further off. Alright, 2 deaths. She just got cooked. They can bleed. Take him down. Scan. Nobody else. It helped that these dudes were one tap or low. Holy, we did it. All right. That worked to perfection. And guys, you might say, oh, you're just, you know, being a rat. Guys, if you want to work from mid to long range, right? That's what these types of strategies are, right? It's going to be very tough for you to be between all these teams, right? I don't personally have a problem, but I'm trying to give you guys the best advice to win, right? Not everybody is S tier, right? They can't go into the boss compound and have everybody focus on them at once, or potentially have Call of Duty Zombies where it's just a one team. Then you kill that, end the wave, start the next round, one team. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can just handle all of that. So the best advice would be to let a third party ensue, or just 2 teams fight, and then you turn into that third party. That is the best advice. There's no better advice for a loadout that isn't dominant in close quarters. And my loadout with the Centennial and the Spitfire is not dominant. It's capable at medium and close, but it's not dominant in either of those. I would say maybe medium. It's pretty dominant. It's pretty good with the bleed especially, but you get what I'm saying, right? It doesn't cover both of those completely to the same extent that it would if I had a shotgun or something like that. So for anybody sitting here saying, well, what you just did was a rat, you know, you're just being a dickhead, or I don't know, whatever you guys want to say whatever you want. It doesn't bother me, but at the end of the day, my point is I'm trying to explain it from a strategical standpoint, right? That's the best way I can explain it. All right, so at the end of the game, I actually decided to go over to Hellborn and see that Rampage was sitting on the ground, so definitely a really good trait. I might just get rid of Dauntless and get Serpent,
because as a solo, it's boosted from 25 meters to 50, where you can go on dark sight, and you can actually banish a bounty. You can pick up a bounty. Clues as well you can pick up, and it is very solid. So, and then let's change back to the Centennial and see if I can't get one more good game to finish this video out. I think we'll be pretty chill with that. And with that, let's get into the next game. This is just solo bounty galore, and I am loving it. I am loving it. I do not double bounties. Double bounties are not cool for solos. So we're just gonna try and pour it on. You know, we got first game was really solid. Second game was, you know, it was an example, I guess, of when it doesn't go perfect. We didn't end up losing any of these games so far, which hopefully isn't of what's to come. But let's grab this. 2 extracts, all extracts at the top of this map, which actually is going to be very bad depending on this gray out. Okay, not that bad, not that bad. It's probably going to be one of these 3 compounds if I had to guess. Don't need her making a bunch of noise. Like I said, make sure you're crouched with your surefoot to make sure that you have the speed boost equipped. Crouch once, it turns it on. Crouch second time, it turns it off. And we're just going to try and make our way towards these 4 compounds. I'm pretty confident that they're at these compounds. And, yeah. Should be nice. Should be nice. Can run on top of these, because we have Beast Face and Pledge to the Wilderness Pact. The dogs are on the way, but we're just gonna vault this and go over here so we don't have to worry about the dogs. You want to move quick as a solo. You want to get the position. You don't want to be the last to the party. I mean, it's nice to chime in last, right? When everybody's fighting and it's the end of the fight. And maybe there's one person on a team and then the rest of a different team. It's, you know, one of the best opportunities. But you don't want to be completely across the map and then the teams fight at the boss lair. And then you get there and it's just you versus 3 dudes. Because all 3 of those dudes on that one specific team are going to focus all their attention on you and push at the same time. And one coordinated attack, which is what you don't want as a solo. You want 2 teams to be fighting, and then I get to take an easy shot that might be on somebody who's already hurt or something like that. That's what you want to do. You also don't want to drag a bunch of attention to you. So me not setting off these water devils is pretty nice. Gonna get right here. Try and move back and forth. Also, when you're using Serpent, aim at the very bottom of the circle. That's what's going to make you have the best wiggle room. And it's Elaine and Sons. So, we're gonna try and get over there and get some position. If I get there and nobody else is there, since the compound is very good for the person inside to bunker down, they have a couple shots or angles to shoot out of. If I get here as a solo, even though I have the mid-range loadout and I don't particularly have anything that's crazy good for close range, and I don't really want to be in the boss lair, I'm still going to try to if I get over here and it's white. But first off, I'm going to go to the north side, so anybody that's coming through from the bottom of the map or whatever on this side doesn't sandwich me. That label is far, 2 labels. Kind of far. So I assume there's a couple teams fighting right there. Let me move in here, get a scan, see if the color's white. If it is, we're going for the boss. And then these teams can move up one by one. All right, it's white. We got our spear, of course, and then we got our hammer. Gonna look right here and see. All right, nothing. All right, we're coming in here. We're gonna kill the boss. They're fighting. I'm not pushing out over there. Two hits with your trauma. It's a hammer, so 2 hits with the hammer. It's gonna do 1 rage cycle for the spider. And every time he hits you, it's gonna do 25 damage and poison you.
When he's enraged, just run from him. You can outrun him to the point where he's not gonna kill you. He might hit you once or twice, but just outrun him. He does his scream. That means he's not enraged anymore. Go back for 2 more hits. If you want to know everything about how to kill bosses and the best way to kill each specific boss and their weaknesses and strengths, click this link at the top. That is going to be my ultimate boss guide. And that will tell you everything you need to know. We're gonna hit this just to make sure nobody else can serpent it and take the banish from me. And then I'm going to sit and listen. Hopefully these teams aren't completely depleted to just one team, and it's multiple teams still by the time everybody gets to the boss lair. Because if it's just me against a trio, that's fine. I'm not saying that a solo against a trio is the worst thing ever. Can't tell if I'm hearing somebody walk through water. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not what you want as a solo. Like I said, you don't want a trio's attention all on you. That's usually when you're gonna get outnumbered and get screwed. So try your absolute best to be the third party, or to make them third part or fight each other. And occupying the boss lair is a good way to do that. Because if the team isn't ultra aggressive and willing to push in with shotguns or whatever they have, then there's a good likelihood they're gonna pick each other off, shoot at each other outside, and then I, as a solo, can kind of play and pick and choose my shots, right? I can peek on the windows when somebody dies outside and they're looking in a different direction or something like that. That's what you want to do if you're occupying the lair. And since I don't have a shotgun, I don't want to be super close and personal, so I have to be very willing to run away from this boss lair and pretty much give it up. Since I don't have any shotguns or any close quarter dominators as far as guns, right? Like I said, this is gonna be good. This levering on this might be pretty solid, but it's not going to most likely win in a Crown and King battle or a shotgun battle if they get the drop on me at all. If I don't get the drop on them, it's over. Let's put that there. Don't be afraid to put some traps down if you can. In this specific building, I like just putting 2 at one of these sliding doors to kind of cancel it out. You know, they're gonna have to make noise, they're gonna have to open it. Jumping over it, there's a good chance they're gonna hit the trap, at least one of them. And then this window right here is a good one to put a bear trap on, of course. If somebody jumps through it, you want them to be bleeding at least a little bit. Also, something I just noticed on the update, maybe it wasn't only during the update, maybe it was before, but I didn't ever notice these windows up here. You might not be able to shoot through them. I don't want to shoot and give away my the knowledge of, or the information of the guns I have, so I'm not going to, but those windows up there definitely all right, we're gonna pick up, and it looks like what I didn't want to have happen has happened. Just 3 dudes here, nobody else in the server, at least not at the boss lair. So this is going to be 3 dudes completely focused on me. Unless there's another team that hasn't made it over here yet and they're working their way over and they want to potentially shoot at this team, I'm gonna have a very rough time fighting this team because there's 3 dudes out there. They're all gonna be looking at the easy peak spots. I scan just to make sure. All 3 of them on that side. Oh shit. Got 3 and then 2. I don't want to use too many scans, but I think I am incorrect. We have multiple teams here. Well, that is a fact. But once they start fighting each other, that is when I'm going to have to either push out or open this door and take some shots on the balcony. But they're getting close to each other, and I have 6 seconds. I've already ran through 4. Which, as a solo, don't be afraid to use your scans, right? Don't be afraid. But you also don't just want to use them for no reason. Try and save them for when you're going to scan and then peek. An obvious angle or something. But once they start shooting, I'm probably going to look to push out. Maybe 1 or 2 dies. That's the perfect opportunity at that point. Right now, I have no reason to be peeking windows and stuff. Another thing that might not be great for me personally is my name, right? I'm starting to grow a bigger name. So when I pick up the bounty, these people know, or not these people in particular, but some people know the hunt community isn't super big, right? So if I pick up the bounty, it's a good indication that, oh, NOAURA's in there. He's the only one, he's by himself completely. Let me scan. Everybody is pretty much over by extract. They're not focused on me. It's my perfect time. However, let me just scan. Did somebody leave? This is a complete fight that I need to capitalize on. Alright, so we have another dude coming from east. This is gonna be a little tricky, and 1 dude over here. So 2 and 1. I'm gonna go out and move into this area. However, that 1 dude behind me. Oh, he just killed 1. The Dolts dude just killed 1. So it should be a 1v1, eh? It's a bad peek for me. That team's getting their buddies up. This hasn't turned out, I'd like it. That's solo. She's not a solo, he's got teammates. I gotta really ride the crutch of this solo dude over here. However, the dude he just killed might be a solo too. I don't think this guy's a solo. But I'm taking his gun since it's a straight upgrade. I'm going to loot and burn him. Shoot his gun so he can't... Let me scan. I did not mean to pick up his sniper. Well, I did, but I didn't mean to, Alright, looks like this is turning into... We'll still use mid-range. I'm not gonna go out as far as a sniper scope will let me. But I kinda wanna go into the main boss lair. Loot this dude. He's AFK maybe? I don't know, but I need to make sure 100% that I'm not missing that. Let's see if this dude had a shotgun. He didn't, but he had a close quarters. This is another thing, just playing solo. I know I'm trying to do the mid-range, right? But this is just another thing that you kind of have to do when playing solo. Pick up different loadouts. Use what comes to you. Right, they're getting close to me. I need that gun. She just got up. Gotta make sure this gun's loaded since it's a really good. Let's fucking go! You couldn't have drew it up any f***ing better! Oh my god, that is so hype! Guys, I am live every day through the week, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. EST. Come by and say hi.